Hey guys, I thought I'd do a video today of some of the old cameras I've used and different camera gadgets I use now and have done for the past 2 years, and show some very old cameras that I found recently that I believe belong to my uncle. So first one up, we'll try and go in the order of old to new, if I've got it right. So first up we have, the Canon, I believe this is Canon EOS 500. Now this is an original film exposure film, which I think, I didn't know that there was a film in it, but it's damaged. It's actually, you can actually see that there is cracks in this, but it takes a 24 film. Let's close that so it's less damage. You can put a shoe mount on, still put a shoe mount on this one, which is, for the age of this camera, is quite impressive. And it's a basic old-fashioned camera with a kit lens, which is the 28 to 80. And it comes with a neck strap. And again, this is probably the oldest camera in this collection here today. Comes with the function buttons and the top of it, so I'll show you the top. Here we go. Little twisty. Now, like I said, this is the oldest camera in the collection. I'm not sure how old it is though. All I know is that this one has been in a box for at least the last 6 to 7 years. It's I think it's got more dust on it than any of the others. And then we have another, well, this is a Canon case, but whether the camera inside is Canon, I don't know. The one inside is in fact a Canon. This is a real leather case with a belt hook. Let me show you that, so put the camera down. With a belt hook, so you can put it over your belt. And again, it's a film exposure, plastic, 35mm lens, so it's with the built-in PowerShot, the original PowerShot camera, with the flash. As you can see through the back, it's got the viewfinder. I'm not going to open it because I can actually see through that little dot there, that little glass there. It's actually got a film in it, so this one is probably still working. I believe this takes batteries. Yeah, this one, unlike my one I'm using, takes little tiny AA batteries, as you can see there. This one is plastic. I can't put, there we go, little wrist strap. Unlike the other one that has a neck strap, this one has a wrist strap. I know this one is more updated because I remember my uncle buying this one about 6 years ago. So that one's got to be a lot older than 6 years because he bought this one after that one went swimming in a fish tank and broke. That's why it's not usable. I mean, if it hadn't taken a swim in the fish tank, it would still be able to be used. And I believe this one took batteries as well. Oh yes, that's right. It does, but the battery compartment is broken, is another reason why he had to buy a new one. So, and I believe this one was a little cheaper. I'm not sure the prices of these ones, and I wouldn't even like to hazard a guess how much they're worth now. This one's still being in good condition, it's probably still worth a few quid. So let's put that back in there because that's pretty much how we had it. So there we have. Oh wait a minute, I didn't think to find out what make it was. It is the SHA AF7. So this is the Canon SHA AF7. Next up we have my old one, which I will never get rid of even though it's not working. It's still in its box. I put it back in its box because I didn't want to lose it, because this was bought for me by a member of the family who's no longer with me. So this is more, I keep it more for sentimental reasons. But again, this is the Canon PowerShot A49, and it's the very first camera I started doing my photography on. I virtually went everywhere with it. This went with me everywhere. I go out with the dogs, I'd have it with me. I even took it to work a couple of times, and I'd have it in my back pocket because working as a... what was I working when I had this? kitchen assistant in a school. I wasn't really allowed to take it with me, but I took it with me because on the way home I used to walk about 3 miles home through the forestry or the main road. There would always be something interesting to film or to photograph. I believe I could film on this. Yes, I could. I remember doing a little video on it. I did a little documentary of some birds not far from where I lived. A set of mating buzzards not far from where my aunt lived, which we named Sage and Jasmine for some unbeknown reason. They were the names that came to mind. And every year we'd see the fledglings, and this pretty much documented 3 years of those different babies from the very first mating pair. Unfortunately, it got wet one day when I was out recording because I slipped and dropped it in a puddle. Actually, I fell in the puddle and it was attached to me because I haven't got it attached anymore, but there was a wrist strap on it. And I put it back in its box after taking it to a shop where they said they could not fix it. It was unfixable. The motherboard had a fracture and it was going to cost me triple the amount for the camera was worth. But the camera isn't worth money to me, it's sentimental because my aunt bought it for me. But this is the very first camera I ever started doing photography with, and it's also the one that is more important to me even than my new one that I'm recording on, which means a lot to me because it's what I do, is what my hobby is this, photography, and pretty much anything to do with a camera that I can go out and document stuff. So that was that one. Now the next camera isn't mine, it's my brother's. He's given me permission to do this because it's the next one down from the one he's bought recently, and this was the Fuji film. Just Fuji film. There isn't the FinePix XS, and that's that one there. Now this is the very first camera he bought where he was actually doing a couple of photographs, but he has stopped recently, but only due to work problems. It's got its usual viewfinder buttons and the on-off switch. It's got the it's an auto as well, which is that's just quite unusual to have on a camera. Then you have the little flash which you can pop up and pop down. Now this is a kit camera because the lens is, you cannot detach this lens. The same as the Canon, both those Canons. Actually, all 3 Canons do not have removable lenses. They're known as power shot. That's power shot. That's power shot, and that's power shot. The other one is not a power shot. It is an actual camera, but it's a kit one like this, where you can't take the lens or adjust the lens. And let me show you the back. It's got the wide panel for easy viewing, because this does record video as well, I think. Yes, it does. What I like about this is, instead of having a neck strap or a wrist strap on it, he's actually attached the camera lens, the lens cover for the camera, but he didn't put it on. So I've just reattached that now for him. I've also changed the setting on it, but I don't think that's going to matter much. But it does in fact come with a neck strap, but Gorilla Boy doesn't like using it. I think it's because he can't throw it at people if he has a neck strap on. But that's that one, and obviously he's got a little camera bag that I gave him recently, which is a top loading, because this was my original camera bag. Top loading, double section, which this piece here is removable to adjust the size inside. And you have this little bit here that has an extra pocket with a phone pocket inside. Useful for if you're out and you suddenly need your camera, you can just literally rip it up. But if you're walking around and you don't want that rip up to go in anywhere, it also has a clip so that you can clip that shut so nobody can suddenly just pull it up and get your camera out. And when I said he had an updated camera, he bought this, a couple of these actually. These are Chinese GoPros, so not the GoPro like you can get the GoPro Hero 4 or whatever. These are the Japanese version. They're about a quarter of the price. They're still about £350 per camera. Now, as you can see, this can get lost in the palm of my hand. They're tiny, but they do come with quite a few little gadgets. So this literally has an on button, a sensor, and an up and down, I think, is so as you can go in and back out, zoom. That's it, it's got a zoom. Now on the side, you have these little USBs. One, I believe, is to power it on, and the other one is to, oh, here we go. It's got a HDMI micro SD, and it's got a power charging SD. And a data transfer SD as well. Now these are 4K Ultra HD, and they also have Wi-Fi. He covered that because it had his name on it, so he pulled it off so as I could do this video. And these are quite nifty. We did use these, funny story, to test these. What me and my brother did was to record the dog being naughty in the house. We actually caught him opening the oven and pulling the oven tray out. So that was a good test. It also proved that the dog can in fact open the fridge, the cupboards, the oven, all sorts of things, because for some reason he acts an idiot, but he's far from it. So with that, it comes with several different ways of attaching it. You've got this attachment, which you can literally attach to a bike, like a mountain bike or a motorbike. You've got this attachment which attaches it to like your desktop, so you can literally have it in front of you to record videos and blogs, things like that. It has this one with a little clip so that you can attach it to a moving object like a skateboard or a car even, which is quite cool. And then you have this which attaches it to any round object like a bar or like a handlebars again, but you can also put the camera on it and have it standing, as long as it's standing on a flat surface, have it standing up as well. And then you also have an angled one, so if you wanted to shoot something like around a corner, you could attach that to the camera or attach the camera to it and stick it to the thing, and you've got then so as you can see a movement shot. And as a protection, it comes with this really cool plastic case with a glass filter so that it protects the camera. I don't think this is the waterproof one. Actually, it might be. This might be a waterproof one. It is, yes. It seals completely up so that, like, you press those, you've got to press pretty hard to do the thing. You can see the little metal clip in there. But it makes it waterproof. Now, I don't think it's waterproof enough to go into the sea or a river or anything, but it certainly makes it waterproof enough that your cameras can... No, I'm wrong. That seals it completely, and it is, in fact, according to that description down there, a completely waterproof case, so you can literally submerge it up to 2 foot of water without it damaging the camera. So that's really cool. Now, that's the GoPro, my brother's GoPro. Now, I got a few bits and pieces here that are what I use now, apart from one item which I've forgotten to put in, but it's only up there. I'll grab it in a bit. Now, the camera, my updated camera, the camera that I use for all of these videos for my photography now, because I did have, sorry, I jumped ahead. I don't have it anymore because I sold it to buy this camera. I did have a Canon 550D with an 18-55 lens. I never bought any, actually I did. I bought one lens, more like lens glass for it, which was this, which is just macro glass. It's not a lens, even though the advert said it was a lens. It wasn't, it's just glass. What you do is you attach that to the front of the 18-55 and it zooms, makes things a lot closer, so you can take shots of bees or wasps, anything you want to get a close-up of. Oh, that was weird. But I've kept that because the item there that I'll bring over in a bit. I can use this on this camera even though it's a Canon, and for the reason of this, which are metal adapters. So if you've got a lens that is smaller than your camera, you can attach these, which will come off individually, and then you pop the lens on one side and you pop the other bit on the other camera. So if you've bought, say you go out and you buy a small macro and you realise that it doesn't fit the lens you have on now, you literally just then attach the glass to whatever size, and they come in different sizes. You've got step up and step down rings, so you can put bigger lenses on a smaller body or smaller lenses on the bigger body, and they're quite nifty. Not too expensive, but still very durable because they're made of metal. And I bought both of those for the Canon because that I actually bought the wrong size. I was a 58mm and I only had a 55, so I bought these to attach that to the Canon. But I sold it to get the this camera I'm about to show you now. And I've kept that glass because of those rings. I can attach it to this camera. Now the camera I'm using here is the Nikon 5300. And it came with the 18-55 lens. Now this was, I believe, body only. Yeah, this was the body only because I already had the 18-55 because I bought it with the other two lenses I'm about to show you. And this is the camera that I'm using. This camera right here. So, is there a clear picture of it on here at all? No. The front is literally the clearest picture you'll get off this box. Now, unfortunately, obviously, I can't show you the camera because it's the camera I'm using to record. But this is my new one. I have several different little thingies that can go on it. Now, this is the 55-200 super zoom. Well, it's not super zoom, it's a zoom lens, so you can get up close to stuff without getting right up in front of it. It's quite weighty. And I've only used a handful of times because you can't zoom right out because it's not a wide zoom, but you can literally get in close to stuff. So that's that one, and it's quite nifty. It's got its own little hood, so it stops sun flare, which is why I bought this one, which is a 10-24 super wide angle. I've used it a couple of times, especially if I want to get a mountain shot. And again, they come with obviously the dust cover for the back and the front cover for the front. Again, this one has a hood. This one actually weighs a fair amount. I'm not sure the exact weight on any of these, but this one again has only been used a handful of times. Seems lately when I'm recording inside the house I can only use the 18-55, but I also have filters so as I can change the colours of stuff without actually having to fiddle with the lens in any way. I've got three 52-inch Hover digital filters, and I have this one, which is a this is a filter. It's the Valo 52-inch sun filter. I call it the sun filter because it stops the UV rays, but I can't remember the actual name. There's an actual name for it, but I'm not 100% sure what it is. I also have then the remote, so as I can record and don't have to touch the camera to do so, or take photographs without touching it. I don't use it very often because it does take a long time to attach it to the camera. It comes with its own little remote to record. Then we have this, which is a little blower to clean the lenses out without actually touching the lenses. Same with the little brush. So you can clean the lenses, because touching a lens with your fingers is a big no-no. Data transfer cable, which actually matches all of the equipment. My favourite is my shoulder strap. And lastly then, we have the SD cards, of which I have two 16 gigs, a 4 gig and an 8 gig. So that is pretty much all, apart from my tripod, which is a bike Becco travel tripod, which again I can't record because I'm using it. But that is all my camera equipment. So I'll see everyone in my next video. Bye bye!